This time we're going to hit Dreamweaver to Lucid to Dreamweaver. So there aren't a lot of runs that are full top to bottom, the whole mountain, and this is another good example of that. They split it up into 3 sections, and the first section is Upper Dreamweaver, and then it connects really seamlessly into Lucid, and then Lucid dumps into Lower Dreamweaver. So it really rides like one long trail, but I suppose for the sake of the map and just talking about and managing the trail, it's probably easier to chop it up. And they basically divide the trail where it crosses a road, so it's pretty logical. So as you can see so far, this is pretty smooth. There's a little bit of chunk here and there, but mostly just a flow with some small rocks and roots. Here we're just a little ways into Dreamweaver. I wanted to kind of get a shot of the grade here. Not real steep, but this is pretty typical of what you'll find as you roll through this. And as far as trail surface goes, this is pretty typical. Nothing really nasty. You know, the odd rock and root, but stuff that you can definitely hold plenty of speed on without having to worry about getting kind of slapped around. And I'm running this a little slower than I might normally to try and allow the camera to catch the trail surface as best I can. There is a section down in Lower Dreamweaver that's quite fast, and I will probably break that rule when we get to it, but it's also the smoothest section. There's a cool little drop here. It's just off of a rock ledge. Here we are approaching the first drop on this line. And it's a little blind, so the first time you see it, it might give you some pause. But the landing area is pretty decent. Nothing really nasty to worry about. And it's got a pretty crisp lip on it. And it's a slight downward slope, which I always like coming into a drop. And if you get a little bit of pull, you can easily send this down 6 or 8 feet. And there's plenty of run out, which I like a lot. So you can send this and just focus on the feature and not have to worry about the run out. This is one of those trails that you can ride at medium speed or even a slower speed your first couple times and have a lot of fun on it. But then as you crank it up, it just gets more and more fun. And here's where we hit Lucid, which is very similar feel. It might be a touch smoother, and it has some tighter switchbacks, or berms, I guess you'd call them, because they're not quite sharp enough to be called switchbacks. And then it has some really smooth, flowy sections like this. But it kind of holds to the spirit of what Dreamweaver did already up top. Nothing rough, no big gaps. Or here we are a little way into Lucid, and this is where those tight berms are. Just kind of give a sense of this. These are hard for me to hit, and you can see it on the POV with any speed. And I do have to come through these pretty slow, at least with a downhill bike. The Enduro, I might have a little bit better luck with them, but they are quite tight. So it definitely slows you down. And then once you get out of them, you get into the faster section. Rough, no big gaps or doubles that aren't tables, so you can roll everything. And it can be sent pretty hard once you get used to where the turns are and where to push and pull. And even a couple of nice jumps. Here we're about halfway through Lucid, and this jump is my favorite on this whole run. It'll take a lot of speed. It doesn't have a funky lip. It's really mellow actually. And to clear it completely, it is a step down with a super soft, almost non-existent knuckle here. But to clear this out to about here is 18, 19 feet. So you can hit it small and it's still fun. But once you get this trail figured out and you start really mashing this, such a fun jump. Because it'll take all kind of speed and you feel like you're just sending it with a really nice lander and then plenty of room for a run out. So favorite jump, well built, just what this trail needs. And even a couple of nice jumps along the way. So these three trails together are definitely the crowd favorites on this side of the mountain. And now we're hitting lower Dreamweaver. There's a couple bits in here where I'll probably just let it go because they're just so much fun to ride fast. But the trail surface is very similar to what we've seen so far. And we're gonna take a quick break here. So we caught up with a younger rider and his coach, so I took a little break, let them get well ahead because this is the section that I want to run pretty fast. And I don't want them to get snuck up on. So really smooth through here, just so fast. Love that bit. So much fun. And once you figure out where that is, you can really just pedal hard into it, let off the brakes, and go for it. Really fun. And then we just got a few berms left at the bottom here before we dump out onto the road with a small little rock ledge right at the end here. And there it is, Dreamweaver, Lucid, the Dreamweaver.